You are now tuned in to the real news behind the news, bringing truth to light and exposing the deception behind the mainstream media while matching headlines with the prophecy of the scriptures.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This your boy Raw Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Hey, good morning everybody, how y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy Raw Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Man, today is a rainy July 3rd, 2023. And real briefly, I want to ask y'all a question. I need you all to take this very serious. A lot of times when people ask serious questions, in order for people not to deal with those questions and try to answer them, they label people as conspiracy theories or a kook or a lone wolf or somebody who's far out there. But let me ask y'all a question here in America. Do y'all realize there's another $500 million going to the Ukraine at a time where here in America, food prices and inflation, no matter what they tell y'all on the news, that shit is still rising. You see what I'm saying? Homelessness in America is literally resembling something that in a third world country, elderly people are having to make choices. Do they buy medicine or food? You're living in a fascist dictatorship, but they're telling you that this war in the Ukraine is about democracy. How is it going to be about democracy in the Ukraine when we don't even have democracy here? Because if we had democracy here, your government would be asking you, is it okay for us to send another $500 million of your tax money to the Ukraine to fight a war that they are losing? If they were winning with all the money and weapons that we have sent, wouldn't we been known somebody now? Wouldn't the Russians been ran out of weapons by now? Wouldn't we be seeing the Ukrainian soldiers marching to Moscow by now with the $170 billion that we have already seen, you and I? When I clocked that in this morning, I was wondering how much money they're going to take out my paycheck today to send to the Ukraine. We are paying for teachers' salaries in Ukraine while teachers here in America are fighting for a living wage. We are paying for the pensions of state and federal Ukrainian employees while they're trying to cut Social Security here in America. So that leads me to ask the question, is Mr. Joe Pamper Biden, because we are getting the only nation on the planet that got a president or a leader that has to have his pamper changed every morning. This man's mind is so bad. We have an Alzheimer's president. A president with Alzheimer's, dementia, in the White House, who has been caught blackmailing other countries for special payments for political favors. So that leads me to ask the question, is the government being blackmailed by the Ukrainian government? We know the Ukrainian government is the most corrupt government in Europe. So why are we helping them fight? Why are we giving all this money to a corrupt government that we know is corrupt? Why are we giving them all this money? It's because to keep the secrets of some of your politicians from becoming worldwide news, we have to give them this money. But the most important part that they're trying to do is they're trying to overthrow Russia so that Russia will not be viable when they go to war with China. That's the whole agenda. So again, you have to ask the question, why are we fixing to send another $500 million to the Ukraine when we don't even know what the other $170 billion with a B that we just sent to Ukraine in the last year? We don't know where that money yet. All the weapons that we're sending to the Ukraine, guess what, are being blown up soon as they hit the battlefield. Half the time, they don't even make it to the battlefield because the Russians are destroying them in the staging process, or the Ukrainians have people that are selling them on the black market. Something that we all need to ask these questions about very seriously, because if you look at the national debt, I think we're like almost $40 trillion in debt in America. Way added up, I think they say every American to contribute to the national debt. Every American, man, woman, boy, girl, trans, cis, whatever you are, if you're an American citizen, you yourself owe almost 30-something thousand dollars to pay off the national debt, and your great-great-great-grandchildren will still be trying to pay it off. So why are we still sending money to fight a war that we are losing? Because no matter how y'all look at it, we ourselves here in America are at war with Russia. It is your tax dollars that is going to fund a war of aggression. And it's not the Russians who were aggressive. Y'all got to go back and look at the Minsk treaties, NATO and all that. But we are at war, fighting a war that we're losing. And we're steadily throwing money at that war, while people in America are sleeping under bridges. Y'all be blessed.